Okay, another way to do coil building is you start with the flat bottom just like we did before. But in this method, we're just gonna blend the clay together. The clay will stay together as long as you thoroughly combine the clay together. So what that means is you have to use a tool or your fingers and you have to blend the clay. So you're kind of stitching from one side to the other. And I do one on the bottom to get this started. And then once I get going, you'll see that I'll add a few coils at a time. I'm not gonna do one at a time all the time because that would just be really time consuming. But you really have to blend this all together. So this is kind of a modern take on this method. If you Google coil building, you're gonna see a lot of different variations on this. But if you find something that's more traditional, like Native people somewhere who do this, First Nation people, you're gonna see they use their thumb. And that's a traditional way of building that's been around forever. So what I do is I just start stacking up coils. And it stays together because the clay is really sticky right now because it's wet. So once I get some height on that, and I'm kind of pushing down on it a bit to push those coils together. I don't want there to be any air trapped between the coils as I join them. So right now, because they are sticky, like I was saying, the clay will stay together. You don't have to worry about it just falling off or whatever. But it's not gonna stay that way. So we have to make sure that we do all that blending. So after I get some clay on here, I come back in, and I've been using this little tool. You guys have something that's more like this one in your toolkit. And what I do is I just stitch through all that clay just like that. And I make sure I don't pull it apart as I do this too. So that's why I have my hand on top here, so that I don't accidentally lift those top coils right off of there. Do the inside. So I use this method a lot when I'm doing any kind of more organic kind of sculptural things. If I'm making like handmade vases or something, I'll use this method. So when you're building this way though, you have to keep in mind that at first it's gonna look pretty messed up. So I mean, look how ripped up that surface of that clay looks as I'm working. So then once you get it on there, you kind of form it with your fingers a little more, but then you're gonna take your serrated edge tool and you're gonna work that clay even more. And you'll blend that clay in. And once you get some structure there and you start refining the shape, your shape will start to kind of appear as you work. Do the inside. I was looking for the tool that's right in front of me. So I'll use this one then without the teeth on it, just to continue working on shaping this. But then this tool is also great for smoothing down the surface if you want it to be smooth, at least getting a start on it anyways. And normally I wouldn't do this at this stage. I would do everything up to this point that I've shown you, but just to show you how you can be working that. On the inside, if I'm planning on making something that is like a bottle shape, I would have to be smoothing it as I go. So if I build this thing and it comes up and goes like this, then I can't get back inside to smooth down the inside. So I would have to return to that, and I would end up having to cut it in half or something to be able to smooth the inside. And then probably one of the best tools you have in your toolkit for smoothing clay is your fingers. You just drag your fingers on the surface of the clay, and that will smooth it right down. You can see it's already looking like a bowl. It's got a long ways to go. So another thing you can do when you're working is you can use paddles. Okay. So just use that. I'm just gonna paddle that clay wherever you want it to go. Helps you get the shape. When your clay is really wet, it wants to stick to the paddle, so sometimes it doesn't work very good. Especially at this stage when the clay is really wet. All right, so I'm gonna let this sit and dry for a little bit. The clay is getting soft and it wants to deform as I'm trying to work on it because it's so soft. So I'm gonna let it sit and dry for a little bit and then I'll come right back to it. Maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Or if I'm ready to move on to something else, I just cover it in plastic so it stays wet and then come back to it at a later time.